DreamLeague.
B team.
That's true. Season 20, Sunsfan here with Cinderin. We got PSG.LGD versus Team Spirit, Mr. Cinderman. Last time we cast Collapse playing Ogre, it was at the Major, and they got stomped so hard. I remember it vividly. But it was fun to watch, at least.
They won the game that he was Ogre in. It was a great pick.
Okay, my mistake.
Maybe they picked it another time, but I remember Collapse popping off and owning.
Oh, no, that's right. The game that we cast, he owned, and then they played it later in the tournament and got absolutely decimated.
Yes,
it was like the only victory with it.
That sounds about right. I think that was the only 2 times it got picked all tournament, and it was Spirit both times, if my memory serves me right. But yeah, we did cast that. They're going to run it back here. I find this hero to be a little bit of an enigma, to be honest. I don't know how truly well understood it is by the pro scene in general. Obviously, the teams that pick it, you would expect, have the most knowledge of it. And I'm curious what LGD's approach is against it. Clearly, they feel like the Marcy carry is a good matchup, which it should be. But just overall, what Ogre brings to the table, if there's anything you need to be worried about, or if it really is as straightforward as, you know, this guy's going to buy auras, we're just going to get enough damage, and then he's just there, you know? For me, the more interesting hero to look at overall in this game is the Bristleback. I think this is a really cool last pick. Like the panel talked about, great against the Visage. The Marcy matchup could prove to be a little bit tricky, but I see a world here where if Yatoro, like Fear pointed out, gets to farm some big stacks, he might honestly reach an almost impenetrable level in the earlier portion of the mid-game. The Radiant lineup doesn't have the most reliable, good damage sources against him. The birds don't really work. You have Sunray, which can be okay. But apart from that, I actually think he's relatively sustainable in this game.
Okay. And what about egg killers? Because you do have
that is the biggest problem.
That's about it, right?
Yeah, the egg is going to be the biggest problem. But again, if there's like 2 overall solutions to Phoenix, I would say, like on a basic level. One is to kill the egg. The other one is to be able to disengage, right? When it comes out. Storm can disengage.
Oh, they're going for this kill in the bot lane. Shira looks to be dead. Collapse gets the first blood. You question the Ogre.
They don't
immediately, they shut your freaking mouth.
They don't know. No,
it was all you. You hated on it.
I question how much the teams know about Ogre, and it looks like LGD forgot about Ogre.
I think everybody did, to be fair.
As long as they didn't forget about Dre, then it's fine.
I'm sure that's a reference that I'm not supposed to understand because I don't listen to that music, Cinderella.
Oh, you knew it was music. That's pretty good.
I did.
I mean, it couldn't have been a movie, so the options were limited.
Yeah, you're very correct on that one.
So, good start for Spirit. All 3 lanes here looking pretty stable for now. The Bristleback, I think, is the one that is most a given. Will have a good time. I'm expecting Yatoro to hands down just win this top lane. It should get easier and easier over time as he gets points in the Bristleback and as he starts building up and getting his early Vanguard. Then I think this just frees up Miposhka to do whatever he wants. And that's obviously a great luxury to have as a 5, the ability to just go and stack for your Bristol. You can take the gate and gank bottom. Because the pairings that you have bottom actually use Decrepify really well, right? It's Ogre and Rubik in your offlane. So gate plays from Miposhka are extra appealing. Nice blast off. Okay.
With the sticky bomb to follow. Another Soul Ascension to come, I'm sure. And there it is. Taro takes a tumble.
Bristleback just owning in this lane. Well, they traded.
Caster curse as always, but yeah, it was just the techies going down.
I like this from LGD though, because I feel like this is the one moment of opportunity they have here. Like when the Vanguard comes out, this isn't possible anymore. So you know that if you do want to put the pressure, now's when you do it. When you hit that level 2 on both of your heroes and you get that blast off connection. They're on a timer in terms of pressuring there though, so get it done while you can. Good damage.
Fire blast with the ignite, telekinesis back, but the Icarus dive is there. Of course, that costs a little bit of HP to use, but we'll live through the day. As we're back to the top lane again, but
oh, Mira!
Nice blocks here. Is it going to be enough to get Mira in the end? It's taken away very slowly.
No, 2 punches.
Needs that second punch. Universal needs a little bit of a buff. There's the blood grenade.
It did hit.
That's the death of the Rubik. I mean, talk to me how important, and I already know the answer to this question, I'm just saying this out loud, is why you smile. We'll be going down to Collapse's right click. In the Major, we talked about how Team Spirit were not adapting to the patch very well, and they have 0 universal heroes.
Right.
Do you think that is actually a major concern? Are the panel completely correct, or is it a little bit overrated, or what's the status on that?
Laurel.
Mid lane.
Good damage.
Got something to lose your orb, but it's not going to be enough. Why you smile a little bit too late, but it is just a Phoenix, so not a whole lot to help out his comrade regardless.
Yeah, really unfortunate for Spirit there that their heroes weren't universal, so they still did have enough damage to kill the puck. I mean, obviously, in terms of like scaling potential, I definitely agree that Universal Heroes are likely a little bit overtuned right now. So not having any of them can be a concern, but keep in mind, I don't think Spirit's game plan here is to go into that late game where Universal Heroes might start overtaking and really getting a lot of their pressure coming in. Because sure, a lot of the heroes on the Radiant, oh, nice blast off there, Miposhka will die. Yeah, sure, the Radiant has multiple Universal Heroes, but I wouldn't say all of them truly like peak or benefit a lot when the Spirit lineup wants to fight, right? The Marcy will probably need a bit of time, and Vistage doesn't really. Yeah,
it's a very brawl-heavy patch right now. I mean, that's another reason to pick Ogre. Just super tanky, just gets right in the thick of things. So perhaps trying to create a new type of strategy for Spirit. I mean, like we said, last time we saw Collapse, he does well in these games, but in the end, like whether they win or lose, it's like how much impact did he have past the laning stage? And that's where some of these heroes can kind of struggle. Is Yatoro going to get perpetually slowed, but will live through the day. Yeah. You can see that his CS 21-6 right now.
They are doing really well up here. I thought this was going to go better for the side of Spirit, this top lane. I thought it was going to be a gimme, but for now, oh, hang on.
Yeah,
Why you smile?
Out of mana
nice
right now.
there.
Telekinesis, Why you smile, will drop. And that leaves Shiro all by his lonesome, but it is the 1v2 where he has the HP advantage for the time being. You were saying?
I forgot. I don't know what I was saying.
Thanks
I just said it was a nice telekinesis.
It was before that, but sure.
Oh.
Collapse gets gone on. A couple more right clicks will do it, and Shiro finds the range. Nicely done, despite being 1v2, has no fear.
Yeah, and this is with a 3-point sidekick build as well, so it's not like his jump does a lot of damage. Just Collapse was already very low on resources and stuck around. Should be a bottom rune here for Nothing to Say. I don't think Laurel is going to expend his entire mana pool going to look for it, and it would have been taken away anyway. And actually, they will just grab it on the Phoenix. Interesting. Not leaving it here for NTS, just going to use it to perhaps look for a gank bot. Could get a Rubik kill with this one. He's definitely not going to be anticipating that there's an invisible Phoenix heading down here. Shiro will just go and get himself a nice little flower.
The Lotus, yes.
Yes. Yatoro will finally complete his Vanguard by the looks of it now. So this is when things should start stabilizing up here. And in connection with that, Miposhka, you see it right away. They have this down to a T. All right, you got Vanguard. Cool. I'm out. He's already in the jungle, starting to stack up, preparing for his Bristle to ramp. And they will also want to stack here with Miposhka, or sorry, with Mira, but also get that Wisdom rune. Oh, the Invis expires.
Yep, 2 seconds to go. Who's going to get it? There's a Telekinesis, and Mira will claim it for himself. So it's a split across the board.
Yep, never going to lose that war as Rubik against a non-stun hero, so pretty easy to time that Telekinesis, toss him away.
Now from Collapse's side, he is going Midas, in case anybody was wondering.
Yep.
I feel like this is, even though it's kind of a meme, it's kind of standard when you're seeing it as a core especially. And from the other side, the Phylactery very close to being finished for the Visage, just the point booster away. So that's the combo with the Soul Assumption, which has the ridiculously low cooldown of 4 seconds, which Phylactery, what is that, 6 seconds? Or is that also 4?
Oh, I actually forgot. I think it's...
Yeah, look it up. That's good.
Yeah, I gotta find it here. It's hard.
Type it in. Use your keyboard.
Yeah, it's hard to find it, Shannon. I'm looking for it. It's one of those...
I see you don't want to type to filter.
There it is. It is indeed 6.
Okay.
And so Brave Chill is 11, so...
All right, as we're going to see the first coil of the game in the mid lane. Not looking to snap it. Instead, the Gargoyles are coming to play as well. Perma-stun is there, as Nothing to Say gets credit for that kill onto Laurel. Nice rotation from PSG.LGD.
Might have lived if he snapped it, I think.
Yeah, potentially.
Sometimes you just got to eat that stun so you can get the hell out of there. Instead, you're effectively like kind of stunning yourself for 5 seconds, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So,
as Collapse gets taken out as well, so across 2 lanes, LGD getting
very good
a lot of
them.
resources out of this.
Damn, I am still surprised. Yatoro is 600 behind the Visage. This was Spirit's last pick counter to what they saw from PSG.LGD. They have definitely not got out of it what they wanted. And this has me, I have to say, we're 9 minutes in, but I'm a little bit concerned for them with how this lineup is constructed and what it's meant to do. Bristle is a very timing-based hero. And even just being like a few hundred net worth behind, close to 1,000 of what you would want to be at this point, has major ramifications of what ends up happening 20 minutes into the game when you're supposed to peak. Because if you, it's like a math hero, right? If you're treading this fine line of, am I tanky enough while dealing damage or do I get overwhelmed? Those 1,000 gold, you might just be missing that one key item that gives you some armor or some health, whatever it is. They can pierce through you and the fight is lost.
Yeah.
So really got to make sure they get Yotaro up to speed here. He is the centerpiece of their lineup and has not been off to the start that they were hoping. What stacks do they have? Do they have anything major set up? I actually don't think so. I think Miposhka made a double that they farmed.
Yeah, there's an ancient stack there.
And one ancient double camp. So not a lot to show 10 minutes in. He has stacked 4 camps, so I guess he did farm a little bit in the triangle area.
There are some stacks on the side of LGD that he could potentially steal, but I'm not sure if they're aware of that at the moment.
That is true.
That is a Bristle specialty. And, I mean, LGD
Collapse.
can't really take it themselves until this Battlefield comes online. Collapse, like you said, getting gone on, but the rotation from Mirror gets the telekinesis off, but the Unleash doing massive damage. Laurel has come to play, though, and he gets the Electric Vortex. Collapse does fall in the end, so it likely will be a trade, although Laurel starting to run out of mana, but finds the damage in the end, so 1 for 1. Position 1 for 3.
Yeah, I don't think PSG.LGD mind this too much, though. They force the TP rotations. They get the Phoenix level 6. And all of the resources expended by Storm. He's actually going to walk into NTS. I mean, NTS is alone. He might kill the Rubik and get out of here, I think.
That's going to be the death of one.
Yeah, pretty clean.
Just going to get away. That's with the Arcane Runes, so another 45 seconds for the coil to come back. And of course, these stacks were scouted, so they are aware that this is likely something that Yotoro's going to want to take. Zips on in. They actually want to go for this, nothing to say. Just trying to delay things as long as possible. He's going to get ignited. He's going to get destroyed. Laurel gets credit for that one. Now the Vistage going to get some help thanks to the Phoenix with a beautiful Fire Spirits on all 4 heroes, it looks like. Getting healed up, though, is that Storm Spirit. They're going to dive very deep, though, as TP rotation from LGD are on the way. Blast off comes in. Yotoro's going to be one stunned under the tier 1 tower, but the heal's coming out from Miposhka. Will it be enough to keep him alive? For now, yes. The Soul Assumption with the Phylactery doing massive damage, but not enough to find themselves a kill. So that play punished as Spirit take nothing to say down.
Yeah, they should be happy with that. If Puck could have connected with the teammates and invaded the triangle area, they could have probably stolen the big camp. I don't think they steal Ancients with these heroes, but they could have definitely got the big stack, which would have been very nice. But they are the ones to make the move first, kill off the Puck, and prevent that from even becoming a possibility. However, LGD are going to go on the offensive straight away. They want to try to get this top tier 1 tower. They have the siege creep wave, so they are congregating multiple heroes up here, but Spirit aren't anywhere to be found, so this is probably just going to result in a tower with no defense. But the good news for PSG.LGD is, doesn't look like Spirit can trade at all. They've barely even dealt damage to a tower, as a matter of fact. I take that back. They've damaged the top tier 1 out of all towers, but the bottom tower is not in trading range yet for Collapse. So it'll start some pressure on mid, though, with Pugna. Level 3 Nether Blast is pretty meaningful. Gets it down to about a third here.
Oh, but there's the 12-minute Midas online for Collapse.
Oh, wow. They're actually just going to get this fully. No defense for mid. This was effectively Miposhka soloing a full tier 1.
Yeah, that's pretty effective.
All right.
And efficient.
Yeah, that's... was not expecting that to be the final outcome there, but I guess PSG.LGD just a little bit concerned with the amount of missing heroes. Like, at any point you TP into mid to defend, you can get jumped by Storm. It can definitely get scary, and you need the numbers. And they just didn't really have them, so they're going to take the safe approach, let it go.
Bot lane, though. They see the Phoenix. The Electric Vortex looks like it might have been on a creep. That's going to cost them a kill. So now Spirit, seeing that Laurel is out of mana completely, just have to back away. But a beautiful stun on 2, followed up by the coil. And there's the Unleash from Shiro. They've already gotten the Rubik. The snap is there as well. And that's going to be enough to take out Yotaro. Although, no, he's getting healed up in the backline by Miposhka, who will die as a result. But you can see Yotaro does live. Some way, somehow, Spirit are turning this around. The Ogre finally falls. This is going to be a team up on both sides if not careful here. Yotaro somehow still alive after all of this. Now the right clicks are coming. The Soul Assumption from afar. He does get destroyed. The last remaining gladiator alive is Laurel with no mana to speak of. And I can try to farm these summons, but That'll be a hard task for him at this point.
So many little plays in that fight that went right. It's good we're going to get a replay here. So you see the start here. The Vortex does go on a creep next to Phoenix, so he actually gets to reposition a bit, and that, I think, makes the difference. So he survives the initial onslaught, and then as we get into this fight, good bird drop. We get the coil, and they use this coil to toss Bristle out
that was
with the dispose to get the snap here, and this save from Iposhka crucial. Really great positioning standing behind the trees. He'll suicide for it too, so remember that kill wasn't even part of the equation. That was just a deny. So effectively, Spirit got a 5 for 3 out of this, and their Storm Spirit was the one to reap all the rewards in the end, which is a dream hero to get this on now, well ahead on net worth, 1,000 ahead of the Visage, who is the top breadwinner on the LGD side currently. And this is Bristle. This is what he wants, right? That's the kind of fight that you're hoping for. If you're Team Spirit, you want this hero to be involved around this 15-minute-ish minute mark to 20 minutes and really use the tankiness, and you got maximum value there with the Pugna covering him. It's going to get harder when Marcy gets some items. If she gets a Silver Edge, if she gets a Nullifier, all of a sudden this can definitely turn in her favor, but for now...
Yeah, well, speaking of which, Shiro does finally finish the Battle Fury, so I would assume that these stacks will be taken out pretty swiftly, although...
Now they've unlocked their ability to steal them too, right? Like if you take a good fight and Shiro doesn't have to ult for that, then you can immediately just run in and clean house in the enemy Ancients as well.
Yep,
Unleash
still several stacks there for Spirit.
Yep.
And
still a pretty close game right now.
Yeah, Yataro's getting somewhat close to his Aghanim Scepter, and that's typically the time, at least in past patches, where the Bristle is like, okay, I'm done even attempting to farm at this point. It's just all fight, fight, fight.
Yeah, very curious. So, oh, nice try from Shiro. Doesn't quite make it though, and does give away his ward effectively with this jump. There's no way he would have known Collapse was there without that ward.
Oh, we got the electric vortex. They wanted to go onto Shiro, but they had to be careful because a lot of reinforcements are here for LGD. Collapse getting slowed to a crawl. Looks like the rebound will connect. Dispose back into the fray. And he is likely to fall as the egg is finally placed. And does the Storm Spirit have enough right click to actually get him? They do. So it ends up being a 1-for-1 on the supports as Shiro getting very low, tries to rebound away, but dies shortly after. Laurel, not a whole lot of mana left as the Visage attempting to TP out will be fine. So results in a 2-for-1.
Yeah, Spirit more than happy to take that fight because they know nothing to say is mid, and the connection path for Puck is just too long, so he doesn't even choose to start connecting with his team. He's instead spending the time trying to get the mid-tier 1, and will force a deny out from Mira here, who has stolen Unleash. That looks really funny on Rubik, actually. I don't know if I've ever seen that before, but he was just cleaning up that creep. That's some good farming right there coming in for the Rubik.
Great.
Imagine Rubik with this in his old talents when he had a lot of damage. When he had like the damage talent and when Fade Bolt stole damage.
Oh yeah, the good
old
old
days. You get that
days.
with Unleash, that would have been a chef's kiss combo, but it's never been a possibility since Marcy wasn't in the game at the time.
Yeah, I miss talents like that where nobody goes for it, but you could go for it. There's a possibility of
Planet's
like
toast
Rubik.
here.
Yeah, that looks to be an easy cleanup for Spirit as the tier 1 tower is still up in the top lane.
And this, honestly, now it's just power hour for Spirit, right? You've got Ags on Bristle 17 minutes in. Your Storm has completed Kaya Sanj, you're taking the tower. You start controlling this. You're going to steal the enemy Ancients, and you're going to control the map now. And their lineup is pretty good at dealing with the Tormentors, if you want to take that approach.
They want to get Shiro. TP's coming in, but he's already at half HP. He's getting blown up. He's just dead. Nope, he dies. Okay, I was correct, Synderen.
Good call.
As the rest of LGD attempting to run away, but they're just going to get chased down by this really tanky Bristleback. That's the second kill for Spirit. Because now they're going to try to reset a bit. Blast off connects for Planet. There's the coil onto 3, but where's the follow-up? Sticky Bomb is there as well, but actually Puck gets controlled. So nothing to say drops, despite having all that mobility. So 3-for-0 in Spirit's favor. And like you said, this part of the map very important because if they can get this tier 2 tower, or this general location locked down, the 20-minute Tormentor's there for them to take as well. This was really close for Shiro to live. That last rebound before this clip started would have potentially been a different story. But the fact that they can dive this deep this early, not a good sign for LGD.
They're taking so much advantage of the abilities for Storm to just set the stage, and then Bristle can just run in. Like, This is what we're talking about pre-game, that if Bristol succeeds in reaching this point in the game right now, I just don't think the Radiant lineup have solutions for him. Like, Marcy is supposed to be the hero that deals with Bristol, but she doesn't deal with him at this time of the game. We're talking 10 minutes away before she truly has the items to just man-fight and win that 1v1. And Spirit are taking full advantage of the fact that, well, PSG.LGD just aren't there yet, and really showcasing why this Bristol last pick was so good. And imagine if his lane went better, right? This didn't even go as well as it could have. They just didn't need it. And LGD are seeming a little bit flustered, right? They're like getting picked off one by one. They're in positions where they feel like, I should be safe under this tower. They don't care. They just jump you with both heroes, kill you off, and run away.
But if LGD find a little bit of space, Cinderin,
yeah,
the Spirit lineup does fall off a bit.
That's true. You gotta just wait long enough for these universal heroes to get that damage.
Those stat lines are really juicy, as we can see the Roche attempt here for Team Spirit will be uncontested.
This is a very, very slow Roche because they don't have any universal heroes. Really lacking in the damage department.
Yeah, could have really shored that up in the draft if they just realized that universal heroes existed in Dota.
All right. Guess what? Bristol with Bloodlust hits pretty fucking hard, and he can kill Roche relatively easily. Yeah. So,
and he got the pretty good Vampire Fangs neutral, right? He got the spell lifesteal.
That is amazing. On I honestly think this is the best hero in the game.
The best
for this
in
neutral
the game.
Yeah, this is the best hero in the game for this neutral.
I'm gonna have to think about that.
Because Bristol uses both spell lifesteal and lifesteal so well compared to on other heroes.
The zip in, nothing to say, gets the phase shift off.
Yes,
and he's dead. Big pick off for Spirit. They can get the tier 2 and perhaps steal the Tormentor. See if they go straight for that. They don't have the Bristle, though.
Do they need him?
But with 4, you would think they could just clean that up relatively fast.
I just think they feel very safe here. Like, there's no immediate risk, and no problem. All right, and that's a shard from
Rubik. All right, so a little extra save potential now with that telekinesis.
Very good tool against Puck. Your teammates get coiled, they snap the coil, and then you can toss them away after and create distance. So now, you get some more insurance, basically. It's not like obvious as a solution.
3 familiars have been killed this game. 3.
Yep. That's that
Bristleback is supposed to be the killer of
I think Bristle killed one of them. Yeah.
That hasn't been a priority because the objectives have been a priority, and killing the heroes themselves have been the priority for Spirit, who now have a 12k lead with the Aegis still intact. And like you said, from the side of PSG.LGD, we are kind of far away from Marcy having a big impact. I mean, the Aghanim Scepter is almost done. I would assume a BKB needs to be next before she's really ready. But then again, you need Silver Edge. I mean, Nullifier would be good too because of the Decrepify. There's a lot of items you would want to potentially go for this game if you have time.
Again, I just think the biggest overwhelming problem is you need more single target damage to kill Bristle.
They got him again. Nothing to say.
Fine this time.
A lot of help on the high ground. The coil only onto 1. It's the very tanky Ogre. Gets telekinesis like you talked about. Will be saved as a result. And the Ag kind of wasted in the end.
This is not good for LGD. They need to get the hell out of here.
And Laurel is a bit low on mana, though. And obviously still has the Aegis, but it's still got so much time left that maybe not trying to overextend at the moment. Yatoro, he's not scared, though. He has the BKB, Ags intact.
He can't die during BKB. They don't have damage. So he can play very, very confidently. I mean, sure, if he starts diving tier 4s, we might be having this conversation again.
You have to cover all your bases because you're wrong a lot.
He's just not going to go there, you know? I'm still waiting on your better Vampire Fangs hero, by the way. Take your time.
I need to... Oh, my God. All right. Nothing to say died while you made up that very interesting point that nobody was listening to.
I was listening to it. I don't know who you cast for. I cast for myself.
Yeah, that's true. We all do. We're all selfish beings in the end.
Yeah, I'm really funny. I love my casting.
At least there's one, I suppose. And the slow siege continues, and this tier 2 will drop now. And you can see that Spirit have positioned themselves for the bot tier 2 as well, and they take that swiftly. So now all the outer towers are dead. And the Aegis, how much time we got left? We got a minute and a half, so we would expect some sort of a poke at the very least. But we'll see how much they want to really force the issue.
What do you do as LGD? Is my big question here. Like, Marcy has to buy BKB so she can sustain it in the fights because she's just getting blasted by spells. So her item counter against Bristle is still far away. There's no Silver Edge in sight. There's no Nullifier in sight against the Pugna. So you kind of have to... I think you have to do something active. I don't think you can try to like weather the storm and then eventually we get to our items. I just don't think you have enough map to do it. So you kind of have to try to take fights and catch Spirit when they're fragmented, such as now. They might find the Rubik. Well, who found who, though?
Yep, another silence comes out, so nothing to say. Can't really get the initiation off, but you can see the Storm Spirit getting control.
There's an Aegis.
This is just the Aegis, though. Didn't really expend that much, though. They use the egg now.
How good is this timing?
Is he be able to steal that? Okay, Unleash coming out. Storm Spirit's just dead. Nice job from PSG.LGD. Now the coil used just to ensure they can get a second kill, although it's just the Rubik. Now the chase, though, you can see Atoro still wants to fight. They get the Visage, although he gets off the stone form. Will live for the time being. He's going to get surrounded now by the enemy. Gets off one more soul assumption for the road. And TP actually is successful. As Planet will not be able to get away. So despite losing 2 members, Spirit not afraid to continue this fight. Do they have the stun? They do! Shiro so close to going back home. Now he'll have to resurrect from the grave.
New. That's a bit of a spicy situation he's in.
Thought that he got out, but was found in the end, and Yatoro just dominating now.
That was about as good as that could have gone for LGD to start, right? They found the 2 kills. They got the Storm and the Rubik. They killed Storm twice with Aegis. But in the end, they can't take the follow-up 3v5 because they have to use Marcy's Unleash for the first volley of kills, and then Bristleback's just running in like a completely invincible god with Bloodlust, just crushing them, just running straight through them at almost hasted move speed. They can't get away. Oh, nice escape there from Nothing to Say. He does not have protection. If he gets jumped by the Storm at long range, he can get one-shot killed by just him alone with Orchid and a full spell volley. So
has no Dispel. Does have
status
just
good. And obviously the Apple as well will help. But yeah, a perfectly executed Storm jump should be able to kill him from far enough away. So still has to be a bit cautious and is building into Octarine on Puck, pretty standard. I think I like that he isn't itemizing against the Orchid. I think it's too glass half empty way of thinking. I think he has to try to set up his team for success. So like more silences, more wave clear, more random team fight damage. Because sure, you can buy a Yules here and stay alive, but it doesn't solve the inherent problem, which is you're lacking damage. So he needs to bring out whatever he can. Yatoro here will solo the Tormentor number 2. So that is going to be a shard now going Collapse's way. So they unlock the Fire Shield.
Oh!
A very pretty spell that we don't get to see that often because Ogre doesn't get played that much, and
I mean,
they don't necessarily get the shard. It is pretty nice.
The right clicks from the familiars, from Marcy.
It can block some of Marcy's first volley, which is actually very useful for supports, right? Where you would usually get like one-shot comboed by Marcy jumping you. You block the first 3 hits almost fully. Then you might get the time to react and get off a Glimmer Cape or Rubik could telekinesis save, whatever it is. Like that 1 second can be very precious in the right moment. So definitely not going to say no to that, for sure. Free shards always nice. They have that combined with Crimson Guard. Those obviously together will more or less block Marcy entirely for the 3 hits. And
won't block
next
the pulse,
item is going to be a Halberd.
Though.
That is true. Have the Halberd coming out relatively soon for Collapse as well, so that's going to be another Marcy solution for them.
Yeah, seems to have a lot of solutions for LGD's lineup where LGD just haven't had the time to itemize for the Bristle necessarily, as now the high ground push has come. Already Fortification pop, no Aegis for Team Spirit, but with an 18k, well now 17k lead.
My god, this tower is just gone. They've stolen familiars. They stole the familiars,
yeah, that's classic.
That is very useful. I gotta say, it's a pretty good spell to have.
They're covered in the Fire Shield as well. We didn't even talk about that potential. Unleashed is used.
No.
Did they spot it?
I think he wanted to unleash Blink, but he took damage from the Nether Ward, so he couldn't blink.
All right, well now you just gotta wait that out, and then she's almost useless.
I mean, now you've lost 2 lanes. If Spirit saw that unleash, they must feel very confident in pushing this to the limit here.
No doubt about it.
Gas station Miposhka hard at work here.
Yep, the backdoor protection is there.
Yeah, this next wave is going to reach the base, though. They have Glyph, so they have a secondary line of defense.
Oh,
which
they actually will
now.
use it. Interesting, not waiting for the next lane tower. Because this Barracks looks to be dead no matter what. The zip in and the BKB by Lara, trying to control the Visage. They take him out instantly. You can see the egg with that Sunray shard. Not really going to force Spirit back too much. They're just going to relocate to this bot lane. As Yatoro, he can go as deep as he wants. As long as it's not the fountain, he should be fine. That's going to be the second death for PSG.LGD. Make it 3, so a 3 for Nada. As Laurel expending a lot of his mana to try to get this kill onto Planet. Won't find it, but instead might find the Marcy instead. A little bit more valuable at this stage. GG's called. So.
And you know what they say when there's an ogre in the game, Shannon?